Wrapping it up on Sports Bet. Betting Inside today. Big game breakdown rolls on. Sponsored and powered by Bet Online. 7:30 Pacific Friday night. Washington State 14 at Cal. 53.5 the total. They're in the conversation now. They're in the top 10, and they could be a contender here for the playoff. They have the Apple Cup where they're at Washington, the final game before the Pac-12 title game if they're able to win that. Here's the remaining schedule. You got the Cal game Friday, Colorado at home, who all of a sudden can't stop anybody, Arizona on the road, which the Tate game was something against Colorado, Stanford at home, who they drubbed last year, Utah on the road, and then Washington as they got killed at home last year by the Huskies. They would have 2 prep weeks before the Washington game, and Washington comes in off a tough game against Utah the previous week. It's not the typical Leach team. He has a solid defense, and he runs the ball, and they're number 1 in the conference in time of possession. To update what we talked about last week, the fifth-year seniors are now 16-7 ATS in all road games. They've won everywhere in the Pac-12 but Colorado and Washington. Oregon came in, I know it was the third-string quarterback and a freshman, but Oregon came in over 550 yards per game. The Huskies, the Cougars rather, shut them down, only allowed 277 on the road in the 33-10 win last week.
Yeah, well, shoot, you look at the defense for Washington. We talk a lot about Luke Falk and the offense, and certainly Mike Leach has put together a pretty good offensive game plan for the Washington State Cougars. And when you have a senior QB who is very experienced in this system, you know the offense is going to be good. What stood out to me, well, and the running game's good too. You got Jamal Morrow, James Williams. They've combined for 618 on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Also, 64 catches between them. They've both been real nice dump-off options for Falk out of the backfield. But what's really shocked me is the defense. We know that Washington State, well, they're supposed to win some shootouts. The defense, their last 2 step-up games against USC and Oregon, give up 15 first downs or less in both those games. 328 yards in one, 378 in the other. With the offense that the Cougars have, and the most experienced quarterback that Mike Leach has ever had in Luke Falk. With the experience on offense that they have and the talent on offense they have, this defense makes stops. Maybe we should start thinking about Washington State in a different vein, as opposed to, all right, well, maybe they'll be competitive. No, maybe this is a team that we can talk about as having a legitimate aspirations for some of the higher prizes in college football.
Yeah, we gave Oregon an extra 100 yards there in the graphic, but that doesn't matter. Now with Cal, they got off to a good start here with Wilcox, but they're not that talented. Remember, the wins were North Carolina, who's awful, Ole Miss, who's awful, and Weber State hung in there against USC, but then routed last week on the road against Washington. I don't know what Wilcox was doing, calling a timeout to kick the field goal on the final play. Where are you at with Cal at home?
Well, their offense has fallen off the last couple of weeks, and that's putting it mightily. Their only points came against Washington, came on a fumble return touchdown. Be careful with the stats there, because they're going to show -40 for rushing for the game. That's going to include a loss of 41 yards on the bad snap and the field goal attempt on that final play of the game. So the rushing yards for Cal last week, the bad box score, it's misleading data. Be aware of that. But that being said, the offensive line gave up 8 sacks in that ballgame against a pretty elite defense. Now, they've been able to get Patrick Laird and the power rushing game going against the weaker teams. But Laird, over the last 2 losses for Cal, more receiving yards, 51, than rushing yards, 40, in those 2 ball games. And now all of a sudden it's a Cal team. They're a little bit beat up. That early hot start is now, it feels a long way in the rearview mirror already for Cal. And Justin Wilcox, not under fire, but he's certainly in a situation right now where he's adjusting rotations, adjusting minutes, and even changing guys' positions around. Quote, really, everything is on the table. We've just got to be better at every phase of the game. Everything is getting evaluated. Cal looked great for the first month of the season. I worry about their ability to continue looking great moving forward. This team's been through a lot, and considering where they were last year at this time, we got to say they've overachieved early. I'm not convinced that goes on indefinitely.
Hey, guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.